Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Jack Turner, and today we're practicing IELTS speaking with a topic that almost everyone can relate to, cooking for other people and sharing meals.
Absolutely. Let's get started.
We'll work through 5 IELTS-style questions from parts 1, 2 and 3. And Emma is here again to give us some natural Band 8-9 model answers. As you listen, pay attention to how Emma develops her ideas, gives personal examples, and uses vocabulary naturally rather than trying to sound overly academic. Emma, are you ready? Do you enjoy cooking for other people?
Yes, I do, although I probably enjoy it more when I'm cooking for people I know well. There's something quite satisfying about preparing a meal and seeing other people genuinely enjoy it. I'm not an exceptionally talented cook, but I have a few go-to dishes that I can make confidently. I also think cooking for someone is a simple way of showing that you care about them. That said, if I'm cooking for a large group, I can get a little stressed because I start worrying about whether everything will be ready at the same time.
How often do you eat meals with family or friends?
I'd say several times a week. During busy weekdays, everyone tends to have different schedules, so it isn't always possible to sit down together for every meal. However, we normally make more of an effort at weekends. I also meet friends for dinner, occasionally, either at someone's home or at a restaurant. For me, sharing a meal is less about the food itself and more about having quality time with people without constantly checking our phones or rushing off somewhere.
Describe a time when you prepared food for someone else. You should say who you cooked for, what you prepared, why you decided to cook for them, and explain how you felt about the experience.
One occasion that stands out was when I cooked dinner for one of my close friends after she had had a particularly exhausting week at work. I decided to make a simple homemade pasta dish with roasted vegetables and a fresh salad. It wasn't anything incredibly sophisticated, but I wanted to prepare something comforting rather than ordering takeaway food. I remember spending most of the afternoon getting everything ready because I didn't want to leave things until the last minute. I even made a small dessert, which was quite ambitious for me because baking isn't really my strong point. When my friend arrived, we ate together and spent several hours just chatting. What made the evening memorable was that she seemed genuinely touched by the effort I had made. I felt quite proud afterwards. It reminded me that you don't always need to make a grand gesture to support someone. Sometimes doing something practical and thoughtful can mean just as much.
Why do you think sharing meals is important in many cultures?
I think shared meals play an important role because food often brings people together. In many cultures, meals are connected with family gatherings, religious festivals, national celebrations, and important life events. Eating together also creates an opportunity for conversation. People can talk about what has happened during the day, exchange news, or simply enjoy each other's company. In that sense, the dining table can become a kind of social space. Another reason is that traditional dishes are often passed down through generations. When grandparents teach younger family members how to prepare a particular recipe, they're not only teaching them how to cook, they're also preserving part of the family's history and cultural identity.
Do you think people will spend less time cooking at home in the future?
Possibly, especially in large cities where people often lead extremely fast-paced lives. Food delivery services and ready-made meals have made it incredibly convenient to avoid cooking altogether. However, I don't think home cooking will disappear. In fact, there seems to be a growing interest in healthy eating, sustainability, and knowing exactly what goes into our food. Some people also see cooking as a way to switch off after work rather than viewing it as another chore. So, I imagine we'll see both trends at the same time. Convenience will become increasingly important, but people who value health, tradition, or the social side of cooking will probably continue preparing meals at home.
Emma, earlier you mentioned having a few go-to dishes.
Yes. For example, pasta is one of my go-to dishes whenever I need to prepare something quickly.
A go-to dish is a meal you regularly choose because it's reliable, familiar, or easy for you to make. It's a very natural phrase for IELTS Part 1 because it helps you describe habits without using basic expressions such as my usual food.
Sit down together.
To sit down together means to deliberately spend time eating or talking as a group. It sounds simple, but it's extremely natural spoken English and works well when discussing family life and relationships.
We always try to sit down together for dinner on Sundays. Quality time.
Quality time means meaningful, enjoyable time spent with someone. It's useful for topics involving family, friendships, relationships, and free time.
Sharing a meal lets us spend quality time together after a busy week. Leave until the last minute.
If you leave something until the last minute, you delay it until very close to the deadline or the time when it needs to be finished. This is a flexible expression that can also be used when talking about studying, traveling, work, or planning.
I left all the cooking until the last minute and ended up rushing. Strong point.
Your strong point is something you are particularly good at. Saying that something isn't my strong point is a natural and slightly more advanced alternative to simply saying, I'm not good at it.
Baking isn't my strong point, but I still try now and then. Grand gesture.
A grand gesture is a large or impressive action designed to show strong feelings or appreciation. It's excellent vocabulary for discussing kindness, relationships, gifts, or celebrations.
Bringing someone homemade food doesn't have to be a grand gesture to mean a lot. Brings people together.
When something brings people together, it helps people connect and form stronger relationships. This phrase works especially well in IELTS answers about communities, sports, celebrations, traditions, and food.
Traditional festivals always seem to bring people together, largely because of the food. Passed down through generations.
If something is passed down through generations, it is transferred from older family members to younger ones over many years. It's a particularly useful phrase for questions about culture, traditions, family history, and heritage.
This family recipe has been passed down through generations. Fast-paced life.
A fast-paced life is a lifestyle in which things happen quickly and people are usually very busy. It's a concise way of discussing modern lifestyles, cities, work, and technology.
Living in a big city often means having a fast-paced life. Switch off.
To switch off means to mentally relax and stop thinking about work, stress, or responsibilities for a while. It's very natural spoken English and can make an answer about hobbies or relaxation sound much more fluent.
Cooking helps me switch off after a tiring day.
Now, it's your turn. First, try this paraphrasing exercise. Emma said, sharing meals gives people an opportunity to spend quality time together. Try expressing the same idea without using the phrases sharing meals, opportunity, or quality time.
For example, you might begin, eating together allows people to. Now, complete the sentence in your own words.
Next, answer these two speaking prompts aloud. What kind of food would you prepare if friends came to your home for dinner? Try to speak for around 30 to 45 seconds. Do you think children should learn how to cook at school? For this one, try speaking for around 1 minute. Give your opinion, explain why, and include at least one example. Let's finish by looking at different ways of expressing one simple idea. Imagine the examiner asks, "Do you enjoy cooking for other people?" Emma, give us an informal answer first.
Yeah, definitely. I quite like cooking for friends, especially when I know what kind of food they're into.
Nice and relaxed. Now a more formal version.
Yes, I do. I find preparing meals for other people quite rewarding, particularly when it gives us an opportunity to spend time together.
Now keep it very simple.
Yes, I enjoy it. I like making food for my friends and family because it makes me happy when they enjoy it.
Now give us something more idiomatic.
Definitely. I'm always happy to whip something up for friends, especially if we can sit around the table and catch up afterwards.
And finally, let's hear a Band 9 upgraded response.
Yes, very much so. I find cooking for other people surprisingly rewarding because it's not simply about preparing food, it's also a way of bringing people together. I have a few go-to dishes that I'm fairly confident with, and I particularly enjoy cooking for close friends because we can sit down, enjoy the meal, and spend some genuine quality time together.
Excellent. Notice that the Band 9 version doesn't rely on unnecessarily complicated words. The strength comes from developing the answer naturally, using precise vocabulary and connecting ideas smoothly.
If you're practicing for IELTS, focus on 1. Using vocabulary like go-to dish or quality time naturally. 2. Developing your answers with personal examples. And 3. Connecting your ideas rather than giving short, separate sentences.
Your next step, try answering the 5 questions again in your own words and challenge yourself to use 2 or 3 expressions from today's vocabulary naturally rather than memorizing Emma's answers word for word.
Thanks for joining us. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time for more IELTS speaking practice.